Saturday morning. Thanks for folks who showed up. It's January 11th. This is another meeting of the Newmarket School Board. We'll start the meeting as we do with all others by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the school board, as I mentioned the other night, won't be taking further public comment. We're going to get right to the issue that's before us. There has been a petition submitted. The board has received it on Thursday. We're going to consider that. We're going to discuss it. The issue that petition raises, in a nutshell, is that the petitioners have asked us to essentially terminate the superintendent. With that narrow issue before us, I'm going to open it up to the board to begin discussion.
So I read it, read their concerns. I think where I want to start is how we ended up here. We had a superintendent that the communication had broken down, wasn't working anymore. She gave her notice. We had to start a new committee. We had to start another hiring committee. My fourth one. It's in the 7 years I've been here. I chose not to be on this one. Done with it. But so we had teachers, volunteers from the community. Any of you could have stepped up and been part of this committee. Administration, students were part of this committee. I forget how many people we had.
15.
15, because you were
I was the chairman of that committee.
So 15 people applied.
Well, more people applied, but the final number was 15.
We had 15.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the final 2. This board didn't make the decision. The committee made the decision. We bring the 2 people to the school system. We bring them to the SAU office. We walk them around. They spend the day here. Everybody gets a chance to meet them. I spent the day in some god-awful place in Vermont. And I met with one. You went to Masconomic. We come back together. We talk.
With the committee members as well.
I asked my teachers. I asked the students. Who were you attracted to? Who do you feel is going to fit and fix what we've broken over the past 3 years? Everybody chose Susan. My vote went right to Susan because I'm listening to my staff this time. Before I listened to other board members. This time I listened to my staff. That's how we got here. Susan hit the ground running. First thing we had to do was hire positions. We didn't have teachers in our building. We didn't have staff in the SAU. All that had to be taken care of. Did that. Let me put my glasses on so I can remember what I wrote. The other thing we had to do, we also had this union that started with the paras. They didn't have a raise because the way that they approached it, or I forget how the wording was, but anyways, they couldn't get into our budget.
They started the union after the deadline.
Untimely. So the first thing Susan asked for was a 1% raise to give them the cost of living, a 1%.
It was in the budget already.
Was already in the budget. We had already voted on it, but because of the way they had unionized, we couldn't do it. So anyways, we gave that to them because as little as it was, it's better than nothing. And we just wanted to start the year off in a good way. Then we started the meetings because again, we're behind schedule now with this negotiation. So we have to pile all these meetings to get this in the budget. So it will be on our budget. So you guys can vote on the warrant. This was, Pam Young said it, 25 hours in 2 days. That's all of us working all day and then coming here and doing that. Her as well. And she handled it. At the end, we had one item left to agree on. It was wording. And we're all exhausted. We're all tired. It's the week before Christmas. And it's this one word. The paras came to a board meeting on January 19th, read their statement. I'm livid because I'm like, well, that wasn't true. That's not okay. Susan's like, oh, there's a mix-up. They didn't understand the words. I'm in another meeting on the 20th Susan sits down, it's resolved. We're done. It's a warrant article. We're all set. We ratified it on Thursday. Like, that's just my experience with her. And when I look at this vote of no confidence, I can't give that to you because I don't have that. Because I'm here in the trenches working with her. I understand what she's trying to do in our building. So that's where I'm standing right now. I don't know if you want to say anything.
Sort of to piggyback on what Elizabeth just talked about the search committee that we had. I have been on the board probably somewhere around 3.5, 4.5 years at this point, and any search committee that we've had for any high-level position, I have either sat on or chaired in that time. And they've been different, the people that have come have been different, and I just recall being in this room with the 15 members of that search committee, Susan sitting right there, I was on that end, and she talked about her personal story and about how she, as a person, appreciates the education that she received as an individual and how she feels that that has helped her become the woman that she is today, and how she takes that passion to ensure that each and every student has those same opportunities in their life. It was a moment that brought some of the committee members to tears, honestly, because we could feel her passion about it. When I spent the day in Masconomet, I met with every person that you can imagine in the district. I sat in the conference room from 8 a.m. to probably 4 o'clock with different groups of people coming in. And one question that I asked was about that passion. Was it, and I asked it more diplomatically than I'm going to be able to say it this morning, but is that a true thing? Am I seeing something that is genuine to the person that we have? And I ask it without leading that way. And to a group and to a person, people reaffirmed to me what I already knew, that passion is who she is as a person. And it excited me to think that we could have that passionate 21st century leader in our district. And that is why I chose to have her come. Aside from that, and building upon her personal story, there's the concept of this particular education and training that she has as an educator. An Ivy League advanced degree in education and new education practices. Again, when I think about her ability to use that deep education to take our schools to the next level, I say to myself, why wouldn't we want that? As a board member, we have really worked this year under Mike's leadership to refocus our roles as board members and what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to be appropriate in the meetings and in the world and doing the job that we are called to do. And from our first retreat as a district team with Susan, I got a taste of sort of her as a professor. And it was pretty awesome, to be honest. It really encouraged me to personally refocus my commitment and dedication to this board that I hope you guys know over these years was and continues to be amazing, because I am passionate for helping every kid in this district do and be the best they can. So that will not change. But Susan said to us, look at what you're doing as an individual board member. How can we work as a team of 5? How can we work better as a team of 6 so that we can do in every decision that we make what is absolutely best for students, the student, faculty, and staff of this district? And there were some things that we have done wrong in the past, ways that we have erred, ways that we've gone outside of our purview to do certain things. And she rightly and correctly said, we need to bring things back to the proper perspective. It was difficult to hear in some regards for some folks because people were passionate about what they'd done, but we had made some errors and we needed to rectify them. And with Susan's charge, I knew that she was the one to lead us in that direction. And that, again, has not changed. I still believe that to be true. As Elizabeth just said, she has faced tremendous challenges from before she stepped in the door. I'm not going to list them. Elizabeth noted some of them. But because of that, I think the saddest thing is that because she's been putting out fires that were not her choice, that were not her doing, that were not our doing, she has not been able to share herself with the community as much as she might have liked and we might have liked. And that makes me sad because I think that people have missed out on being able to understand who she is as a woman and as where her passion lies, and I think that is where she serves her best. My hope is, after we get through this bump in the road that we find ourselves, that she's able to continue meeting people and people interact with her, join the committees that she's trying to get started, because all of us should have a stake in what happens to our kids. Whether we sit up here in these roles or as parents and faculty and staff, we all have a role in it. So I hope you take the opportunity to join us.
Marty.
Hi, can you hear me okay? I would like to add that I'm a new member of this school board. I applied when Al resigned. I noticed that the announcement went out that if you'd like to apply for the school board, send in a letter of interest. 2 people sent in a letter of interest, myself and somebody that unfortunately backed out. So I was chosen. I wanted to join the school board because I was also a part of that committee that did the superintendent search. I was obviously a parent at that time. I wasn't on this board. I was also one of the people in that committee that was brought to tears by what Susan had to say during her interview. I found her to be very genuine, very passionate. You could see it in her expressions and what she said. I also remember a story she told us about a specific student that she had helped. You know, I'm not going to go into details about that, but something that she saw where a student couldn't learn the traditional way, so she made it, instead of him leaving the school, helped him to be able to succeed and graduate. So regarding her involvement in the community, she has been to the talent shows. She was a judge this year when the first talent show started. She's been at the spaghetti dinner in the elementary school. She's been at numerous basketball games. She's chaperoned the homecoming dance. So for people to say she hasn't been involved in school-related activities, she has been. So basically, I have two children that are in 6th grade now. So I was very excited that she came on board because they still have 7 years in school, 6.5 years in the school. I want them to get the best education, as I know all of us want our kids to get the best education. I've seen what she wants to do on paper. She hasn't had a chance to express that yet. I also, last year, when we were getting to the hiring process or the screening process, my son was on the National Honor Society last year in 5th grade. He met with also both the last 2, Dr. Givens and Deborah Taylor, I believe, was the other finalist. And he also chose Susan Givens. He felt comfortable with her. He felt she had a nice personality, warm. This is my child that does have some sensory issues and, you know, thinks a little bit differently about things, and he felt very comfortable with her. So I have all the confidence in the world that Susan is here to do the right thing for our school and for our curriculum. And I feel that she needs to be able to show the school, the staff, the parents, the town, what she is capable of, because I believe it's going to be great. And I'm actually looking forward to see what my children learn and how they succeed through the rest of their Newmarket school years.
Hi, I'm in a little awkward position here. Okay. I'll come over here so I can see you while I'm talking. So I'm Jen Weaselquist. I'm also a new member of the school board. I joined in July. I was not involved in the hiring process of Dr. Givens. I met her for the first time when I interviewed. There were 3 of us, I believe, that volunteered to be on the school board at that time, and I was thrilled that they asked me to join them. So, and the reason why that I joined the school board was because my family, my daughter have benefited for years in this community and in this school system. She started in 1st grade in the school system, and now she's a sophomore. So it's been years, and I thought it was time for me to help. It was time for me to give back in a bigger way. I'd served on committees and all that sort of thing, but I wanted to give back in a bigger way. So I truly wanted to try to help to do what was best for all of the children in the district, and for the schools, and for, frankly, for the staff as well. So that's when I joined, and that's when I met Susan. What I have seen her do is I have seen her request input from all employees of the district, and use that to make decisions. I have seen her collect and analyze appropriately data to make the decisions that she has need. I've seen her review past reviews of our school district to see where, and to ask the teachers and the building level administrators starting back in October, I believe, what were the needs? What are the needs that needed to be filled? What were the things that needed to change? And then I saw her use that information as well as population projections, and as well as the data that was left to her to make a budget. So I've seen her make data-driven decisions, and that's what I really appreciate that. It also helps me have confidence in her because I see her using hard data to make these decisions. So that helps me have confidence in her as well. I've also witnessed her at many events. The Junior Senior National Honor Society induction, she was there. She was at Newmarket Eats. I don't know if you guys know Newmarket Eats. It's the big fundraiser for NCEP, and I do believe she bid on in the silent auction. I think she won more than everybody else. We had to help her carry out the thing. So that's a fundraiser for small grants that are given to the teachers that apply for them in our school. So I've seen her at that, at the concert, the band and chorus concert, and so on. So anyway, I also do believe because of that she does truly care and wants to hear from everyone and get input from everyone on when she's making these decisions, and really bringing the data to us so that we can help make the decisions as well. So a little bit rambling there, but I just wanted to say that from my perspective as a new person who wasn't involved in the hiring process, that's what I've observed while I've been on the board.
I'll share my thoughts as well, and I agree with all that's been said so far, so I won't repeat all of that. I just want to start out, again, my name is Mike Kennis, and I think many of you may know me. I've been on the school board now for 5 years. I decided to join 5 years ago after the last no vote on the new school issue. I was concerned with the tenor in the community, that people weren't really hearing each other, that I might be able to bring some of my, I guess, negotiation and skills I've learned in my profession and from my parents who've also served in public service and still do, to that. And that was a difficult time. I mean, a lot of us had faith and entered that arena. And anybody who was here in town at that time knew how difficult that was. We were able to form a committee of everybody who had an interest in the issue. And I got to tell you, I went into that whole process kind of having an idea about what I think ought to be the solution to the school issue. I did. Everybody does. Everybody has ideas about things like that. But after forming that committee, sitting down and talking to everybody, we reached a compromise. We reached a compromise that works for everybody and it works for the students. Okay, and that created something. Very unique. Okay, we were able to cross the bridge and meet together and come to a solution on a very difficult issue that we're all. And it was a substantial ask from everybody in the town. It really was. But we listened to each other, and I feel that we've really got something here. Okay, I feel like we're on the cusp of really bringing this district to the next level. But with that kind of an effort, okay, I want folks to know that anybody who is asked to meet with me, you know, from day one, I have met with them. I've talked to everybody. I can't count the number of coffees and adult beverages I've had, talking with people, sitting down with them, and really making progress. On this particular issue before us, I even met with somebody on Christmas Eve, okay? And I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I just want you to know that that's been the way, and it'll continue to be the way that I think we ought to conduct ourselves. I've heard everybody here. I'm not on Facebook. That may be a good thing. I tried that. I think I only got up to like 5 friends. And so I haven't read all that stuff. Tried to stay away from it, but I have read every submission on this issue that everybody's submitted. The board listened intently to folks the other night at the meeting. We gave unlimited time to anybody who wanted to come and speak.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that too. You
Why don't
finish.
go
You
ahead.
finish your thought. You finish your thought, but I mean.
Go ahead, I get paid by the
Well,
word.
I just
You
want to
gotta
say,
stop.
like, I'm sitting out here and I'm looking at people. I mean, I approached a friend and I said something, and I can't tell you what it's like to sit up here and look out at all of you and think that you know me. You spoke to me. We've been at games together. We've yelled at each other. Trish is right there. I am who I am. I have never changed. I will tell you what I think, and I'm a pain in the ass. Nothing but integrity. When I sit up here, I'm making decisions based on that building, based on that education. My son received an incredible education. My daughter's not getting that. That's what's in my head. When I'm sitting here having to think about this, when you guys are questioning what I'm doing, I need you to know that I'm the same person I was when I joined this board. I am doing it with integrity and thought. I'll take it. You can abuse me all you want. I took it the other night. I'm hoping when this is all over, everybody can come back to normal. Because I love Newmarket. That's why I'm here. But that's my thought. I didn't know if anybody else wants to say, if anybody else was upset about the other night. I don't know.
I would like to, I just wanted to say that I do appreciate, I feel like on Thursday, and for the last several months, because we've received a lot of emails as well, and we have listened intently. We've heard a lot of perspectives. We've heard a lot of different viewpoints on what's going on right now, and I do believe that we all have, in good faith, listen to all of them. We're concerned about all of the concerns that have been brought before us. And so, and to the petition, that if it's okay, that we got it on Thursday. I've read it over carefully a number of times. Because I believe that it is my duty to do so. I've read all of I'm understanding that it's an online petition, so they're not signatures as such, but they're a list of names. I've read through the list of names. And so I just wanted everybody to recognize the fact that we are doing that. And there are a lot of important concerns that were brought up. And related to that, I feel that I wanted to say that through this process, Dr. Gibbons has steadfastly protected the privacy of all employees in this district. And I think that that's really important to state. Steadfastly protected the privacy of all. And that's something that I really appreciate, and I just wanted to emphasize. I also read it as that what they're asking us to take action on is, and I've got the wording right here. It says, asks the chairman of the board, although we really act as a board together, to make the right decision and choose what is in the best interest of the children and the community. And again, and we've talked about this, this is why we're on the board. It's the only reason why we're on the board, is to act in the best interests of the children and the school community, and hopefully the community at large as well. And so that's what that I intend, and I believe we all intend to do.
The board's learning, they know when to cut me off. I just want to finish up my thoughts, a couple of thoughts I had about the issue that's before us. With regard to the petition itself, and I say this respectfully, I certainly respect everybody's willingness to express them, or willingness and actually expressing themselves, be it through a petition or coming the other night. And we should continue to do that. The concerns I have, and we all come from this from a little different perspective, is that and I respectfully say this, I don't see any merit to it, and I'll get to my experience with Susan in a little bit, to the petition, on the face of it. But also, I do have a unique perspective. This fundamentally underlying this was a personnel issue, okay? And as we all know from life experiences, you can't, an employer or anybody can't be discussing those things in public. So that's a challenge, okay? So, in the one thing, and again, picking my words carefully, I say this respectfully, is that the one thing in common that everybody has in that petition is they don't know all the facts and circumstances. So to me, from my perspective, it's not particularly probative of the ultimate issue. I mean, I would be legally embarrassed as an attorney to adopt a petition under those circumstances. I can't do it. I wouldn't subject the district to, and it's not just for this situation, but for any other personnel issue. You can't do that. I mean, you're just opening the door to exposure. So that's one of the issues that I have. But I'm concerned about Plan B. If a school board were to adopt a petition where the folks signing it, and again, respectfully, they simply don't know all the facts and circumstances of a particular personnel issue, what's Plan B? I mean, how do you hire somebody else to fill that position when they're going to be exposed to that? I mean, so I have that concern as well. But I just want to, I'm gonna wrap up my comments. I've worked with Susan from day one, and every day I am more impressed. In this whole situation that's happened doesn't erode my confidence in Susan. It confirms it. She, from day one, has been dealt a proverbial sandwich, and I won't use the other word, okay? Not of her own choosing, okay? And she's come in here, she's worked nights and weekends, she's given up time with her family, and she stayed here. I come by here at 9:30 at night and she's here, okay? She is drinking from a fire hose. She didn't have a business administrator from day one. There were numerous unfilled positions in the high school, okay? And she's tried her hardest and given her level best to provide and stabilize this district, okay? And so, not only do I reject the petition respectfully, I have the utmost confidence in Dr. Gibbons to lead this district forward.
And with that, with the utmost respect for Dr. Gibbons, I will make a motion to,
I don't know if we want to hear.
do you want to speak before we go on? I'd love to hear you speak.
Well, thank you for taking time on a Saturday morning to be here. You know, I appreciate that everyone took time out of their day and evening and events to be here on Thursday evening as well. I would like the opportunity to take a moment to talk a little bit about, on the positive side of things, you know, what I've done, some experiences I've had, some of the efforts I've made to try to get to know you over the course of the last 6 or 7 months. Because I think it's important for you to hear some of the things that maybe I've learned. and also identify some areas in which, I need some more learning with your help. So after I was appointed to be your new superintendent, I took one day a week to come here to Newmarket so that I would be able to meet with students and staff, to attend some of your events, including your graduation and the music concerts at the end of the year, the elementary school drama right here in this room, because I wanted to get a flavor for Newmarket. I was excited, very excited, and remain excited about all of the wonderful things that you're offering here. I thought today, maybe I would share with you through some of that, those focus groups and activities, some of the things that students told me that have influenced the way that I've approached my work here as I've come on board. I met with your seniors because I wanted to get to learn more about what their experience was like as one of those events. And I asked them, please tell me what it is about your educational experience that you've had here at Newmarket that you want me to make sure that I keep in place no matter what. What has been positive for you? And they shared a few things that were themes throughout these groups that I met with. One was they said that they really thought that the SST program was something that many of the students enjoyed, that they felt that those courses were engaging, and it gave advanced opportunities for kids to expand in areas of their interest. So they wanted to make sure that I continued to support kids and learning through SST. They said to me that many teachers go the extra mile here, to help them when they struggle, and to continue to help to support teachers to do that. A third thing that they said that was positive was that it was a small community, and that they know one another. And they like that feeling of knowing one another. And so they wanted me to make sure that I was able to keep this small community feel present. And then I asked them, what would you give me for some suggestions? What things, if you were going to offer your opinion, and advice, what would that be? And so one of the things that they said was to reduce or eliminate online learning, that the students in their voice said they did not learn anything, it was boring, it lacks a level of depth and engagement with other students, and they didn't feel it was satisfying as a learning experience. That these were their words. A second thing that they said is to become part of the whole school community. And specifically, they said, don't just attend popular sporting events. And so you've heard, I'm not going to repeat my efforts to be able to get out and engage with all aspects of our co-curricular and extracurricular activities. I think the board has named many of them, and I know many people have seen me around in these various events. But it's been a very, an area where I heard what they were saying. They said, can you please come to some of the less popular things, We'd like to see you at the National Honor Society, which I would attend anyways. We'd like to see you at music and drama events. We'd like to see you at, other types of events other than even cross-country. There was a couple of girls that said, I never saw an administrator at one of my cross-country events. Can you please come? And so that's the feedback. The third thing that they said is that, there's small community is good, but there are some things about it that are not so good. And they said specifically that the gossip and grapevine are very bullying, and that some students feel unwelcome and afraid as a result of that. And they asked me if there was something that I could do to please help them, to reduce the gossip. And now I'm listening, and I don't know anything. I'm just taking notes, so I don't really know what this means, and I don't know what this experience is. But for me, these were, I thought that was something, I had to pay attention to. The second thing I did in addition to that was I sent out an anonymous survey to staff to, seek their input and ask similar questions. What are the traditions here? I don't want to miss one of those events. It's important to this community. And so can you please tell me what those are so that I can make sure I get those things on my calendar? And, tell me, what are you excited about? Does it mean to be a member of Newmarket School District? What is it that's about this learning experience that you're so proud of? Tell me what it is. What is working here? What are the strengths? And then I asked them, what are the challenges that we face? What are the traditions? And the fourth one was for suggestions. And so I took all of that, and I've used that information, and I shared it with staff at opening day. And I used this information to develop some programming. Our opening day program, was really centered around this idea of building positive cultures, of coming together and celebrating what's good in people. My message on opening day was that we are humans. We are human beings here. We have things that are really wonderful about ourselves. And there's also areas in which we need to improve. There's learning assets in every human being, and there's learning gaps in every person. But when we come together as a whole, we fill those gaps, and we become one. And I had asked staff if we could spend the time to look at one another and leverage the glorious assets that exist within. Because I believe that inspired teachers inspire students. And if we're looking for the good, and we take that concept into these classrooms, and we look through the lens of diversity, and we leverage that deeper learning occurs. So the second day, we had some professional development. And one of the topics was UDL, which is Universal Design for Learning. And it's exactly about that. It's exactly about how do you engage with students, all students, and provide them with all kinds of ways to access the curriculum and learning. And how do you also take the learning assets of the students and use that to enhance the learning opportunities of others. The other part of the program was Choose Love. Choose Love, and it's a curriculum, a social emotional learning curriculum that's is being supported by the state. And so we had them come in and present information to staff about social emotional learning and the value of that. Positive cultures, fertilize, the learning environment. And one of the things that was called out the other night, and has been called out by students, and has been called out by our staff, is this challenge we have with our culture. Morale is low. In the survey from staff, it said it's lower than it's ever been. This is not, this is said to me before I arrived here. Morale has never been lower. Your students told me when they were leaving, that not all kids feel welcome. That means that there's some challenges we're faced with around culture. And as hard as the other night is to hear, emotion directed towards me and towards the board, I also think that it's important to hear the voice of everyone. I really do. And what was, I guess, hopeful for me, as odd as this might sound, is this acknowledgement of the cultural challenges that we have here. And it provides us with an opportunity, if we all acknowledge that, to work together to try to address this challenge that we're faced with. So there are things that I have done based on this. I scheduled immediately to be in the schools a block of time every single week, and I have pretty much kept to that. And that's just scheduled time. In addition to that, at the junior and senior high school in particular, because we have some challenges, with scheduling and all kinds of, it's a little more complex there. I've probably spent 2 or 3 days a week over there. Another thing that I've done is I've reached out and partnered with our unions, to try to improve communication. I provided communication almost monthly to the families. I've done that with staff to try to keep them informed. We've met on a regular basis to talk through some of the challenges, and we've tried to work collaboratively to resolve them. And so, it's not, here to address specific issues, but just to acknowledge them. Students told us the other night, that this might be resolved on one level, but it's not resolved on another level. And I hear you, and I understand that. It isn't resolved on all levels. We have more work to do. This isn't the end, it's the beginning, And so I spent time over at the school, several hours yesterday, several hours, on Thursday. I spent a lot of time over there talking to staff about this notion, that we need to help support students who are feeling a loss. This is change, I understand that. And that we need to provide support. That this division needs to, be bridged. We need to come together. We need to hear each other. We need to find ways to be able to grow, help, and support one another through this. So some of the other things that I've done, I have meetings with students in the upcoming week, and we're going to meet and continue to discuss, ways that we can help support and improve this culture, so that all students feel welcome, so that the students that are feeling a loss, that we come up with ways that we can help them to work through that. Another thing, I was meeting yesterday with a group of faculty members, teacher leaders, and administrators about, to the point here that was made, having a third party come in by writing a grant to have a consultant come in and work on culture and climate here, to help us all be able to heal, to listen, to develop strategies so that we can productively move forward. It is in my heart and, my intention to stay here and work with this community to provide you with a world-class learning experience for every child. And if you will work with me, I know that we can get there. I believe that Newmarket has everything that's necessary. I have traveled this world. I have been in schools all over the world. I've devoted myself to education. And when you look at the markers that are required in order to provide a high-quality experience for students, Newmarket has that. But if we don't have a positive culture that embraces it, we're not going to be able to get there. And I can't do it alone. I can't. The need here is much greater than one human being can provide. I have worked tirelessly, and I can't be everywhere. But I've given it the old college try. And I just want you to know, for each person here, that I do care. I do care. And that I will take into consideration, the needs of every person, all people. And my decisions are based on what's in the best interest of the students and the staff here. And sometimes we're not always going to agree, and oftentimes I'm not going to be able to share some details. And I know that makes it hard. It makes it hard because as human beings, if we have all the facts, then it'll help us make sense. I get that. I get that. And I want to be able to help you through that. But as I've said before, I'm not going to discuss personnel matters with the public. I'm not going to discuss personnel matters with other staff members that are not involved in a situation. I'm not going to do that because I need to build trust, and I need people to have confidence that when there's disagreement, that their privacy is going to be valued. And if I expect people to take risks, then they have to trust me. And so therefore, I'm not going to share the details. I'm going to honor my word means something. And when I make a public statement in conjunction with another person, I'm going to honor that. I'm going to honor that. So I appreciate the opportunity to share with you a few thoughts that I've had. I look forward to working with, members of our high school leadership team to help us move forward. I look forward to working with the faculty and staff here to help us heal and to help us, learn how to re-engage with one another in a positive and loving way. And I just ask for your help and support in doing that. Thank you.
Susan, if somebody wanted to meet with you, what's the process of meeting? What do they need to do?
Yes, anyone that has requested a meeting with me, I have met with them. I've spent hours. I will give you as much time as I can, also knowing that I do have to attend other events and run a school district. But they can contact my administrative assistant, Penny Botterman, and the information to contact her is on the website. She's easiest to get a hold of because she's in the office all the time, and I'm out in the schools and the community, and certainly I'm in my office also. But Penny Botterman would be the easiest way to be able to set up an appointment with me.
Because anybody who is asked to meet with you, you have met with.
I haven't.
All right.
Is there anything further from the board? Yes.
I'm going to make a motion to not accept the petition that was given to us on Thursday.
Second. Oh, did you have something?
I'm not really sure. I accepted in that I read it all, and I'm considering all of the points that were brought up. And I accepted in that I believe the action stated was for us to choose what's the best interest of the children in the community. So I'm struggling with the not accepting part. So I choose to do what's in the best interest of the children and the community, and I believe that what's in the best interest of the children and the community is to state my confidence in Dr. Givens. So I guess I don't agree with the no confidence, but I appreciate their communication of it to us, and I'm recognizing that. So.
Well, why don't I do
So
this?
there's a motion and there's a second. Do you want to, and we can discuss it. Does anybody want to make an amendment?
Well, we could
I think
use
we take-
Jen's words. I like her words, because we did accept it. We did read it, so I do like those words. I think that's
So can
a
we-
much kinder way. You want to say it again and
Want to
make
restate
a
the
motion?
motion?
I don't have it written down in front of me. My motion, move that we choose to do what's in the best interest of the children in the community, as stated at in the petition, by recognizing our confidence in Dr. Givens to help us do that. I said it better the first time, I think.
Okay, that's close enough. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I just want to make a couple of last comments before we adjourn, and try not to repeat myself. We've devoted a lot of time to this issue over the last several meetings. We need to move on. We've got other business of the district to attend to. So I will not entertain this issue on the agenda going forward. We considered it. We've heard from everybody. We've got lots of work to do. So I respectfully just informing the public we need to move on. And that's what that public statement exactly asked us to do. So with those comments, a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.